Hey everybody, Albie here from Spirit for Spirits, welcoming you back behind the stick. When I need elements like tonic and soda and that sort of stuff, of course it's stuff that you can buy, I always recommend using seltzer and not club soda. The major difference is that club soda normally contains sodium. So for me, I like to go a little sodium free, make sure that I have a nice clean palate, because the most important elements are not the soda itself, but whatever the sweeteners are, the fresh juices, the beautiful spirits that we're gonna be using to manipulate something like a Collins or a Ricky as we go. Super old school pictures, and it's so cute. Now this is just a regular simple syrup. What is simple syrup? Sugar and water mixed together 1-to-1. Now I make it a little bit richer, what we call a rich simple, and I take that same element 1-to-1 and I just boil it down so I get around 2-to-1 as I evaporate out some of the water. I know you probably have read this word in old cocktail books. You'll see word gum in places like, Albie, what's gum? I see raspberry gum or this gum, whatever. Basically all it means is you're adding gum arabic. Makes it a little bit smoother, a little bit richer, a little bit easier to emulsify. Completely unnecessary element. It is really cool and a fun thing to use. Totally not necessary. So this is just a regular rich simple, one of my favorite ways to go. Now next to it, you'll see this dark brown one, which I really love. Instead of using white sugar, which gave us this beautiful, almost clear simple syrup, we're over here with this dark brown one because I used a Demerara syrup. Now Demerara is a really rich, earthy version of a sugar, almost a raw, unadulterated, really makes some of the best old fashions I've ever had. Now you'll see all these elements out here and you're like, okay, cool, there's so many different sugars out there. There's things like coconut sugars and this sugar and that sugar. Find the one that you like, some way that maybe the texture is a little bit different, maybe the richness is a little bit different, maybe something like a white goes better with a gin, and maybe something like a Demerara goes better with a bourbon. Those sorts of flavor profiles are really cool. The last thing is this little bottle over here. Now I know I only brought regular soda water. Well, what if somebody wants a gin and tonic or some other mixer? Well, at the end of the day, they're all just soda water mixed with syrup in some way. And the really cool thing that you can do once you start to make your own syrup is actually make tonic syrup for yourself. Now the tonic element actually comes from one simple ingredient, and that is cinchona bark. Now cinchona bark, which I actually brought some out here, this really light root bark, it's rich and it's floral and super bitter on the back end. And that gives us something called quinine. Now originally, the reason gin and tonic even became a thing, people were drinking the tonic for the quinine to help with malaria, actually cure them of malaria. So it was a real medicinal element. They were adding the gin to the tonic to make the tonic taste better. But we, of course, can manipulate it with so much sugar and so many other things to make a really rich and beautiful tonic. You'll see I have my own little proprietary one here that is, it's really light and super fun, just bitter in the way I like it. You'll find some other really cool companies, places like London Essence or Q and so on, that have all different sort of flavor profiles within their tonic. Wow, there's so many different ways you can go with syrup and how we can manipulate it. And there's a lot of alternatives to syrup, other sweeteners that we have that I keep here in the house. But let's not get too far, because all that's going to be next time behind the stick.